All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Living the Dream podcast. Today on the show, we have Audrey Hope, who is a relationship expert, soul healer, and an award-winning certified addiction and trauma counselor. Audrey, how you doing?
It's great to be here, Timmy. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks for coming on the show. And we like to jump right in. So if you could start with just telling us a little bit more about yourself and what you like to do for fun, that'd be great.
Well, I am a soul healer, which is kind of an unusual thing. Helping people solve problems from the deep level, which is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun. I say this life, past life, the other side, whatever is needed. And what I do for fun is I relax after doing all of that.
Yeah.
I shut it down and I find a place to just recharge, recoup, and take back my energy from all that soul healing takes.
Mm, yeah. No, I gotcha. And so tell me a little bit about what soul healing looks like on the day to day with clients. Is it just a lot of conversation? Are there exercises that you do, etc.?
Well, you know how we watch TV and we see stories,
Yes.
we watch movies and we love drama and we love comedy. Well, what I do is hear stories that are so outrageous and unbelievable, of problems that people come with. So that's why my life never really gets boring. Um, but what I do is I kind of tune in. I work with doctors, I work with other therapists, I work as a team at Seasons Rehab, which is
Oh, I see.
wonderful. Yeah, yeah. So I work with addicts, which is, as my husband says, a very tough crowd.
Yeah.
So I developed this gift through time, just really wanting to help people. I just really did. And I just thought psychology just wasn't doing it. And I just started playing around using common sense and using intuition and just practicing over time and finding out, wow, I could really access this information and get to the root of the problem for the person.
Mm.
Does that explain it?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that explains it a little bit more. And when you're saying the root of the problem, are you talking like, mm, is is their soul like misaligned? Like, what is typically the root of the problem that you're finding?
Well, let's say you're with someone in a love affair or, even a marriage, and you say, how did this happen?
Hmm.
How did I meet this person? Why am I with this person? Or if you've had a traumatic event, what did I do to deserve this? Or even where do people go when they die? These are questions that people have from the deep root of the soul. So, what I'll do is, I don't really have a technique. I just always say I'll do whatever's needed to be done. So let's say you have someone who passed away and you never resolved it with them. I might be able to get a message from that person to kind of help what was unresolved. So, also, if you can't understand why you have a weird phobia, right? Sometimes that's a past life. If you've gone everywhere and you've tried everything and you still have the problem, well, maybe you're not looking in the right place. Maybe you need to go further than that, beyond this life. So people don't find it strange because when they suffer, we all suffer, right? We know what that's like. They're very open to, I'll do whatever it takes to not suffer. So I don't really have a problem with people thinking that this is not real because if someone's really suffering and you offer them something that resonates with them, they become fast believers that there's more to this life.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. 100%. Um,
Yeah.
I love that. That's really cool. Well, tell us a bit more about your motivation. What really gets you up and keeps you going every day?
Well, I've always felt that I was chipped, as a kid. I'm chipped. Like, I really got to do something to help the world. And I didn't know that it was going to be so messed up at this point. I thought that the women's issues was kind of like getting better. and of course racial issues and all that, and helping the gay community. I thought it was all kind of going into a upward motion, and here we are back. So I'm kind of surprised that we are where we are, but I would like to offer new perspectives and new hope about that, especially with what's going on in the world, that people are suffering and they don't understand that when you heal, you got to bring everything out into the open. You got to see it first, right?
Yeah.
So everything is out in the open right now. And that's a good thing. At least we know where it is,
Yeah. So you really
right?
want to, absolutely.
You can't hide anymore. If you're a racist, we see it.
Yeah.
We're trying to take away our rights as women. We got your number. So that's always what's necessary in healing, too. You got to bring it out. You got to bust it. You got to look at it, and then you could begin to heal it. So I think on a level in the world, I think that's what's happening.
I got you. And you're trying to offer some new perspectives and hope for the future of like, yeah, it's ugly right now, but it gets ugliest, it gets darkest right before the dawn. It's kind of the vibe you're going for.
Yeah, Timmy, I don't really feel I have a choice. People, when they follow their life purpose, I don't know if it's about you, how you feel about what you're doing, but like there's no real choice. It's like you got to do it.
I
And
do
that's
know.
a good thing, right?
Yeah.
You do know, right? So
Uh,
when you got to do it and it becomes a passion, like you got to sing, you got to play the piano, you got to write. Well, that's really happiness, because you're following something deeper inside yourself, and you got to follow that voice, that still small voice, or that yearning. So for me, there's never been a choice. I was always trying to evolve enough, get strong enough, right?
yeah.
So that I could be a voice for women, for healing, for helping.
Mm. I love that the like call to do it, the like intrinsic, this is who I am, this is what I was put here for, and this is my genius zone. This is what I'm put here to do.
Yeah. And if everybody did that, we'd be a happier world,
Oh, so
right?
much happier.
Right.
So much happier.
Rather than following along. A big problem in what I do is the family, the society, the culture, following someone else's plan for you, right? Like
Yeah,
whose life are you really living? Do
sure.
you have to get married to this person, this kind of person? You have to, in religion and all that, what it does to us is it indoctrinates us, right? And that becomes, well, that's the reason why we see a lot of people in rehab. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
That's why we're very busy. People
yeah,
have been indoctrinated. So I'm all about the freedom of the soul. I think if we give everybody healing, they won't be so prone to follow cults and, you know, secret societies and, K and QAnon and all that jazz. I think that, we got to give people back critical mind thinking.
yeah.
People have to learn to think for themselves.
I feel that. I'm just curious. How do you help people break out of that? I'm living a life for other people to I'm done doing the people pleasing thing and I'm gonna start living my own life. Listening
Right.
to
Well,
the
you
voice
got to give
inside me.
facts, right? Like, for example, I would say, do you know what the Bible has done to women? Big issue of mine. Do you know that they changed and left out a lot of the documents? So the matriarchal society was way before that, the Bible. And do you know that? And if you don't believe it, go look at, the Dead Sea Scrolls. Go research information to find out that a group of men rewrote the Bible, right? So, put some energy behind what you're saying and speak in facts, right?
Yeah,
So that's one of the things too, or to let people know that they've been brainwashed. Some people don't realize that they've been brainwashed. So you work with them and you ask them questions that really resonate, and then they sort of unravel and they come to it. And especially with drug addiction and alcohol addiction, there's so much shame that comes with it, right?
hmm
And I don't understand it at all. I don't, because if you're using, there's got to be a really good reason.
Yeah.
You know, you probably had some trauma, something happened. You're just trying to survive. So if we could take shame and guilt out of a lot of the problems, you could begin to heal. So that's what I do to begin to remove that programming of shame and guilt. We all seem to have it somewhere, Timmy.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
You
we
could
do.
find it somewhere when you say, well, I don't really go to this thing anymore. I don't really go here. Well, something in your thinking has manifested it in your beliefs. Like, why are you so hard on yourself? Why do you believe in sin? Something from you, from a child, is still in there.
Yeah. No,
So I'm really about the
absolutely.
freedom. I'm really about the unraveling and letting people see. So people are very reasonable, and people want to have a great life. They want to have a great love. So they're open, and they're
Yeah.
tired of the old ways, right? We in healing, everybody boxes you. You know, they say you have this, and then they go to this. I think it's very antiquated.
Hmm.
I think we're way beyond that, and
Yeah.
I don't really believe in boxing people. I think we need to get out of the boxes.
I gotcha. And so when it comes to shame and guilt, I feel like a lot of that comes from the the people pleasing nature in us. And
Yes.
so as you see people divorce themselves from, you know, living another person's life or caring about other people's opinion for their life, do you see that shame and guilt start to go away?
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to say, ring a bell. You just said caring about what other people think. That is so huge, right?
Hmm.
And we pick up other people's energy on an energy level. We're sponges. We actually can look at this and see who we gave our energy to and who took it. And we have to be able to clear those hooks, chains, and cords to people that are still with us, even though we might have broken up, even though we might have gotten divorced, even though they might have died. They're still with us on an energy level, right?
Yeah.
No matter how many years have passed. So it's important to get that hook and look at it from an energy level. And then you realize, oh my God, what am I doing with this person? And am I still hooked into what they told me, what they believed about me? And especially as kids, we pick it up around age 5 or 6, 7. That's it. That's where we get it. That's what I call a soul wound, where we get, let's say our parents were critical or someone was critical. We'll go figure out in therapy. But what happens in a deep spiritual level is not what other people do to us that's the problem, but what we do to ourselves because of it. So we become critical of ourselves. We abandon ourselves. That's always the problem in healing, what we do to ourselves because of what people do.
Mm.
Right? You've been bullied, you bully yourself. You're hard on yourself. So if you can get that thread and go get it, you can heal it. So I always look for that. That's what I mean by the deep core issue.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So it's more about what we are doing to ourselves as a result of the things that people have done
Yes.
to us.
It's profound. I started realizing that through working with people. I'm doing this about over 20 years. It's fascinating. And like I said, it never gets boring, but that piece of it, of transformation, is when you realize I can take my power back from that.
Yeah.
I can't, if you've been sexually abused, which is a terrible, terrible soul wound, at least you can take back ownership of yourself from that wound. And
Mm.
that's what I give people who've been, traumatized. Take your power back from it. And they can actually feel light come back in their body. I call that a soul retrieval. I say, suck back your light from it. And they understand that something was taken from them.
Mm. And so I was about to ask earlier, you were talking about on an energy level. When you say an energy level and you're talking about take your light back,
Yes.
that's the
Yes.
dynamic you're talking about.
Yes. And I've also learned that money won't do it, fame won't do it, fortune won't do it. You got to go back to where it got you. So let's say you were bullied in school and you became very rich and famous. I wish I could tell you some names. I do work with celebrities. But it's not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's still, you have to go back to where it was. Maybe you were born in poverty. Maybe that really left a wound on you. You got to go back there and you got to heal it there because you can't just cover it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the first thing we talked about, which is that awareness, bringing it all to the light.
Yeah.
It's kind of a full circle vibe. You got to go back and get it from that dark place and
Yeah.
get that awareness of it so you can choose something else.
Exactly. And then the person sees it and then they become a whole being because we're really here. Like, why do you think we're born? Like, I always say this is a light subject to talk about. Well, why are we here? We're here to become our best selves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Isn't that true? We're here to grow. So we get so hooked into the story instead of the reason for the stories. Like Shakespeare says, all the world's a stage, right? We all play parts for each other. So what is this person making me heal in myself? How is this person a mirror? So for any of your listeners who are suffering from a relationship stuff, he did this to me and she did this to me. Okay, take a step back. We all understand the pain of that. But what is this relationship inspiring me to heal in myself?
Mm.
As a mirror. Use everything as a mirror. That's a spiritual perspective.
Yeah.
Lift it up, go higher, and look down.
And let's talk a little bit more about that energetic level because I feel like energy can be very intangible for a lot of people when they think
Yes,
about it or talk about
yes.
it. So just go a bit more in depth so we can start to wrap our heads around it.
Okay, so right now, you and I, our eyes are open,
Mm.
right? We're looking, right?
Yep.
This could be called, we're in the third dimension. We understand that. If we close our eyes, like when we sleep, we open, that's why we dream. We go into these other worlds, and dreams are crazy, but we're tapping in to this other place. And that's that wonderful intuitive place when we shut our eyes
Mm.
and we close off that world. And Einstein and Edison and so many of the famous great scientists would try and get into this state to find answers. They would call it the hypnagogic state. It's not really deep meditation. It was just like kind of 15 minutes, like close your eyes and get in between a little bit. You're still awake. And then you tap in and you ask a question. And a lot of the great scientists got answers that way. I mean, look at Da Vinci. Come on.
Yeah.
Look what he drew in that century. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How did he get that information? He tapped in, right? So we are energy beings with the ability to tap in. I teach everybody I know who I work with how to be intuitive. And we're all intuitive on different ways. Where do you think you're intuitive? You see, everybody has a sense. And you got to learn how your computer works. And you
Yeah.
got to train it, right? But everybody can do this. And then if all else fails, see what outside, like your life, what's happening, what's coming to your front door. That's a message,
Yeah.
right? You could just stay in that. Common sense. I'm from New York, so be very common sense. What came into your life today? Okay, that's what you got to deal with, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's good. That's the stuff we can all relate to. You don't have to believe in anything. Just watch the signs of your life. Who called you out of the blue? What did you see out of the blue?
Yeah.
Tune in yourself, and then you'll learn to read messages. How many people go into business or have a relationship and say, I always knew from the beginning I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Guess what? We get those signs, but we don't listen. Imagine if we listened.
Yeah. And so tapping into that energy is
Yes.
really understanding understanding the signs that the outer world can give you because those happen energetically,
Yeah.
but also being able to enter
Yes.
that state that you talked about, which is kind of like in between.
Yes.
I got
Or, say to the universe, should I work with this person? And just put that out there. And then if they never call you back, the answer is no.
you. Yeah.
Like work with the universe.
Yeah.
Right? If you can't get somewhere and I know someone that didn't get on the plane in 9/11, in Boston. He didn't get on the plane. He couldn't get there to the airport. Or he changed his flight. I forget the real story, but he didn't get on that plane, right? He wasn't supposed to. Follow your life, it will give you messages. Do
Yeah.
we listen to them though? Do we listen? And if we don't listen, the Mack truck is going to come and get us to listen.
Yeah.
You know why? Because the universe and our higher selves are going to win. We can't fight. People fight with reality. They really do. They don't like the cards they've been dealt,
Hmm.
right? And they resist. Well, how about letting go of that resistance and going, okay, this happened. I hate it. It sucks. But okay, this is what I got. Okay, now what?
Yeah. I like that a lot. And I like
Mhm.
the, you kind of brought into the everyday of like what literally came through your
Yeah.
door. Cause I feel like, a lot of people will say that energy is really intangible, but then you'll find yourself applying for a job and you get moved up through the interviews and you feel something in the pit of your stomach that is
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
really negative. And you're like,
Hmm.
ooh, I don't like that. I
Yeah.
just got moved on to the third interview of this job. Probably means you shouldn't go do that job. Like that's like we can tap into there's really intangible ways you can tap into it. As you've been trained more, you'll start to recognize more and more signs. But even just on an emotional level, you can start to feel the energy that's going through you every day.
Okay, Timmy, I got you. But how about when you get sick? Okay, there's a
Yeah,
sign for you.
literally.
Okay, literally, right? I work with people on healing some really tough stuff, and it always matches what they're going through. Like the lady that had psoriasis, she was going like this to get off her skin, the scratching. She was trying, her father abused her. She was trying to get him out of her body.
Yeah,
We do, cancer, breast cancer. It's not always that, but the body keeps the score.
yep,
And it does that through illness. We're great manifestors
yeah.
as beings. That's why the ancients hid all the secrets, because we're very powerful beings. You know that, right?
Mm,
Things were hidden, right?
yeah.
Because if we knew how powerful we were, we we couldn't be controlled.
No, absolutely.
Right?
It was
Right?
Bob Proctor. He was
Yeah.
talking. He was
Yeah.
talking about. He wasn't talking to me personally. I was looking at like a reel
Yeah.
he was on, um, and he
Yeah.
was talking about how he just hasn't been sick, and he hasn't been sick because being sick is a vibration issue. Like your
Yeah.
vibration's off if you're sick, and that was the first time I heard that. And then I started
Oh,
noticing that like when I would get sick or when I would start getting a cold or getting a canker sore, it's because I was going through an undue amount of stress in life.
exactly.
And it was just like, oh wow. And then we talk about how stress is like the number two killer behind heart disease, and it's like the number one cause of heart disease. So it's probably the number
Yeah.
one killer out there. And it's just like, yeah, there's something to this
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. And John Sarno, have you heard of him? He's a famous back doctor. He recently passed away and he didn't do that much surgery.
Mm.
He looked at the emotional rage going on in the body
I didn't know
and
that.
he released it. Yeah. So he didn't, so the back pain would go away. Howard Stern was a big fan of his.
Mm.
I love these books because they help my work. You
Yeah.
know, like there's another doctor, I forget who wrote Energy Medicine. I forget her name right now. And she said there's things as psychic vampires. She gives it validity because she's, the medical doctor, but really, do you know what a psychic vampire is? That is someone who sucks your energy. And that could be a really close relative. And you get fooled because you think, well, that's my family. They wouldn't do that. But that's the wound of the tribe, they call, because it comes in that way. Things come to us through family. And on a soul level, if you could survive the family, you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Audrey, let's go ahead and jump into your dreams and goals. Tell us about your vision for your business, your practice, your life.
Well, I'm doing a lot of things right now, which is great. We're developing a show. I've always been doing TV shows and developing, my gifts around that. We have one, that's about relationships, which is, in progress right now. We'll see. But my dream has always been the same. Like I'm very boring. I'm very boring. My dream is to just, bring all of these quick and easy nuggets of healing globally, like how to help women easily, how to heal easily, how to transform easily. This is my dream, to do it on a big, big, big scale. So I've got books in the works, and these TV projects in the works.
I got you.
So that's always been my dream that I was chipped with as a little girl in Brooklyn, Queens.
For sure. For sure. So we got developing television shows and then bringing
Yeah,
all the quick and easy nuggets of healing globally.
yeah.
Cool. Any other dreams or goals you want to add to that?
I hope the world will soon be enlightened, and there will be peace for everyone, and all the icky people will go away. Sorry, I
Yeah,
had to say that. I'm a very enlightened soul who would say that. Let's get all the icky people out of power.
I got you. I got you. Well, what are the
That's
top?
my real dream, by the way. Okay.
No, you're good. You're good. What are the top 1 to 2 skills that you need to develop right now to make some of these dreams and goals come true?
Well, you need perseverance, and you need to understand the game of life, right? You need to understand that, as this is what I always say, they don't teach you this, that as you evolve and you get more light, the challenges get more.
Yeah,
People don't understand that. They think, oh, wow, I have arrived. Okay, just wait. The next level's coming soon.
yeah,
Up the tree of life, you want it, it'll kick your butt. So the ability to keep that concept in my life is what I hold to know that I'm connected to the divine, purpose is in place, and everything that happens is just to make me stronger. So I kind of keep to that.
I
I
got
don't
you.
really allow negative thinking. I think of it like a doorway, I just don't friggin' open it.
Yeah,
I don't indulge it. I don't go in. I stop myself before I open the door. I just won't go there. It's a waste of time to
how
do a
long did it
Hitchcock.
take you to develop that? Staying connected to the divine and not opening the doorway to negative thinking and beliefs.
A lifetime.
Yeah, for sure.
Always working on that. But then I realized through the journey, as I met really amazing teachers, that more was required of me at each step.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Mhm.
So don't ask for it to be easy. Forget easy. Who needs it to be easy? You need to be awakened to what's going on. You need to understand. I'm going to write the manual. I'm going to say, this is the way it works. This way you won't suffer. If you're going to be on this path, watch out. You're going to have to be brave.
Yeah, I love it. Well, what are the highest impact daily actions that are going to tick the needle forward towards your dreams and goals?
Well, Einstein says you got to be on a light beam. He used that analogy. Like, we got to stay high, really get high,
Yeah.
honestly, and I work with people who get high. So, um, is to really know how to stay above the fray on that high light beam. Some people are down here. Don't let them pull you down.
Yeah.
Stay here and do all the practice. So the practice is to stay in that bright, shining light and flooding my body with that light so that it's like a laser out, and using these images and making sure, like I shower every day, that I keep that vibration in my body.
Mm, I got you. And what character trait do you most need to develop right now to make your dream life come true?
Well, I love the word knowing,
Yeah.
not trying, knowing. I am that I am. Those are the most powerful secret words. That is the magic formula. EA, Asher, EA. It's in the Kabbalah. I am that I am. Everything you say after I am is a magic wand. I am now. That's one of the secrets. So to be able to hold that in the knowing of your path.
Yeah.
And so that helps me.
There we go. I like the I am statements.
Be careful what you say, in the beginning was the word, right? It says
Yeah.
that. And people can talk themselves into anxiety and depression, and working so much with anxiety and panic, right? It's energy. It's too much of it. It's
Yeah.
overwhelming. And that's what it is. So you can't take a pill. There's no quick fixes.
Yeah.
No one's getting out of here in an easy, we're all in this. There's no more running.
Yeah.
There's no more hiding.
I think
That's
what's
this. Yeah.
oh, I was gonna say I think what's really cool is that in the same way you can talk yourself into depression and anxiety, you can talk yourself into love, joy, and excitement and peace and
Yes.
patience. And it's
Yes.
like I forget, I think it was Shonda Rhimes, maybe.
Yeah.
She was the author of The Secret.
Oh no, that was Rhonda,
Ron,
another Rhonda. Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Um, Rhonda Burns, maybe. I don't know.
Rhonda Burns.
Okay,
Rhonda Burns.
Rhonda Burns. There we go. She was like, if you only thought about what you wanted, that's all you would ever have. And I was just like the power of that. And I was like, how many hours of the day do you spend thinking about, you know, being at peace and feeling how you want to feel versus the things you're afraid of feeling, And for a lot of people, it's like 23 hours of fear, 1 hour of joy or whatever.
But you know what? I worked a little bit with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the rehab, it gave me an opportunity to work with a lot of people, and then they know people. And so the thing about manifestation is that it's so much more than affirmations and just staying positive. Oh
Yeah,
God, wouldn't that be great if it was just that? There's just a whole nother level to, and this is what I believe, and this is just from knowing people and being with them and their problems and their suffering. You got to heal.
yeah,
There's no escape from healing what needs to be healed. So if you want to manifest riches, fame, fortune, career, heal and remove the blocks to it. And that's the best thing, because otherwise you'll be in that and you'll still be manifesting another thing. I think that Rhonda was sued by Esther Hicks for taking some of the material.
really.
I think it's public knowledge. So, it always goes on, right?
Yeah,
So you see,
yeah,
it's so much more. There's another level to it, which is you got to heal and you got to make sure that you're taking care of cleaning up your own space,
which starts with that awareness.
doing the work. You can't run. What do you think the problem with trauma is? People hide it in a closet,
Yeah.
right? And what do men do? They try to be rational, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. You can't put it in the closet, because if you put it in the closet, it will fester, it will grow, and it will grow, and it will grow.
That's a fact.
And then it will activate in the weirdest way.
Yeah. And so you're saying bring it out to the light.
Well, do the work. Commit.
But commit to,
Commit.
so like for people listening, I feel like do the work is a common like
No, go get some help. Go take a look at yourself. And if something's bothering you, go deal with it. Don't hide it and pretend it's going to go away. It's never going to go away.
mm,
It's never going to go away. It's just going to come out in another form. That's what OCD is. That's what all the phobias and illnesses are. It's stuff that it's taken the hit for what happened. You
yeah,
have to trace it and track it back to where it began. Otherwise, 20 years later, you'll marry your issue,
yeah,
or you'll be dealing with your issue some other form. That's really important to know. Who wants to deal with trauma? Nobody. But I always say there's a lot of ways to do it as long as you deal with it. You can do we have so many new wonderful ways of healing trauma. EMDR, brain spotting, neurofeedback. These are all ways beyond just talking about it, where it goes into the body to get the trauma. And Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, she was the one, externalization, hitting. We used to have to hit telephone books with lead poles, which were really rubber, getting out the rage in the body. You can't just sit nicely with trauma, because what I say is an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Try talking nice to a monster or an atomic bomb. They don't care, right?
Yeah.
Or when you deal with addiction, that's a monster. The addiction, the demon doesn't care that you've been to rehab. It's still there. It's going to, entice you every day.
I gotcha.
Right? You got to be able to handle that and understand the chemical component. Oh, come here, have a drink. And that has nothing to do with, all the therapy that you've done. There's a chemical piece to it. That's the energy piece. So when you heal, you have to have all pieces of a pie. You can't just talk about it. You got to get it out of the body.
Yeah.
Got to get it out of the body. I had a client who had a thing like this in her hand. Every neurologist, it was still going on. It ended up being rage from her mom.
Yeah. And was
It
she
was
able to get it out the body?
we got it out. Absolutely. That's what I do. I find it, and then, okay, what came out was a lot of stuff from her childhood, screaming. We were screaming in the room. Well, that's what it is. Look at it. You're holding it in, it's a nerve thing.
Yeah. So getting it out, I mean, seems like it can look different for a lot of people. Like they all get it out in different ways. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
People have their own, we're all our own heroes on our own journeys. That's why I don't like to box it. I don't box it. I unbox it. So what's going on with you? You know what I mean? And what's personal to you? What does anxiety mean to you?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're now involved in it, in that, and you believe that, and you're stuck in that. Give me some medicine.
And so for people who are confused on how to get it out,
They have to find someone to help them. You have to find the right helpers. It's all about the right doctor, the right therapist, the right healer. It's the right, but you go searching, you'll find it. Go on a quest to be the best that you can be.
There we go.
And yeah, we're all the same. We suffer the same.
Yeah.
We really do. That's what gives us a common humanity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, if there were one or two people that you can meet right now, and this could be a specific person or a type of person, and they'd really help you,
They're who I could meet?
who you could meet, and they'd help you take that next step, who would they be and how would they help?
That would help my career?
Yes.
I guess it would have to be a great question. I guess it would have to be someone who's this is a hard call, who's really evolved in the television business.
I gotcha.
Someone who's really cares about, bringing the people back to and there's a fun way you can do it too. It could be very entertaining. I have a fun team that I work with. We're very entertaining.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's what it's about, finding to put my show in the right thing. Might be Netflix, we'll see, but something where it's really, the right thing, the right alignment. I've been looking for that for a long time.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Now we got our thriving three, and our first question is, what's your favorite book, movie, or podcast? Pick one. Pick one of those three.
Well, the movies that I've been into lately, I've been telling my clients to watch are Alfred Hitchcock movies. because like Marnie, I just saw, did you ever see Marnie?
I think I have not. I think
Okay.
I've seen a
He's
spoof
a,
of it, but
yeah. Well, that it's funny because he really got it, what I'm trying to say. So she was obsessed every time she saw the color red, the music would play. And what that really is something happened to her in childhood.
yeah.
So every time she got activated with the color red, it reminded her of a trauma that she had in childhood. And that's what I'm saying. We get activated like that. The guy in Vertigo, when he saw the lines, he really was something happened to him as a little boy. So that's why I've been recommending those movies and rewatching them again.
Mm.
He was on to something psychologically that is what I really feel captures what I'm trying to say about being activated in our wounds.
Yeah. What is one way you like to take care of yourself?
I'm definitely addicted to massages.
Mm.
I have a great masseuse, and that is a life-saving thing for me. I got to get it out that way.
There we go. There we
She
go.
does Thai massage, so it's a necessity.
I love it. And what's one action step you can take right now or continue to take if you're already doing it to meet someone really evolved in the television business?
Well, I have a shaman technique, that I've been using. It's been, working with the animal kingdom, which is a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
But I would just be tuning in and working on the inner realms to manifest.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Hmm.
There we go. There we go. All righty. Our next phase of the podcast is actually about limiting beliefs. So I'm sure a lot of these questions won't really be that relevant to you, but I'll ask them anyway.
Okay.
What is one limiting belief that continues to pop up in your life, if any?
I saw that one in that question, and I think it's really good that they don't have an answer.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Right. I think I'm just, not going to allow any limiting beliefs at this time. And,
yeah,
I'm just not. So,
I love it. Well, in that case, the final question we have for you is, what is your favorite belief about yourself?
wow, that's a beautiful question. I need to steal that question. I ask people what their talents are
Yeah.
because it bothers me if they don't know it. That you got to know it. You got to have self esteem, right?
Hmm.
So to ask that to me is that I'm sincere.
Mm.
I'm really sincere and I'm doing it for the right reasons and it touches my heart and I never get tired because it's that it's like connected. The
Yeah.
iPhone is connected to the divine and I'm doing the work that I feel is a gift and it just sends me.
There we go. I love it. Well, Audrey, that's all we got for you. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Hey Timmy, it was a pleasure. Thank you
Yes,
so much. You keep up doing the great work.
will do. Will do. And is there anything else you want to chat about before we sign off?
No, just thank you for being such a lovely soul.
Of course. Thank you for coming on the show, being authentic, and helping us kind of get to the
Yeah.
crux of the soul issues we'll have, and just the knowledge of doing the work. Like, go get the help, get the energy out. Like, I feel like I have similar conversations often, but the get the energy out was a big takeaway for me that like
Good.
people don't emphasize that enough.
Mhm.
So I love it.
Thank you, Timmy.
Of course. Of course. Well, if you guys are listening to this and you loved what Audrey had to say, make sure to check her out. All the links to do so will be down in the show notes. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you on the next one. And on that note, we're out.